Picture a blacksmith in a medieval village. The air smells like wood smoke. Sparks jump like fireflies every time the hammer strikes the glowing metal on the anvil. The blade cools slowly in the air, steaming as it meets the chill. Centuries later, that sword might still be around in a museum. The iron looks strong, dark, maybe a little crusty from age, although not crumbling to orange dust. Now think about your modern shovel or outdoor hardware. You buy it from a store. It looks shiny and tough. 2 years later it looks like it lost a battle with a bucket of salty tears. Rust everywhere. It flakes apart like pastry. That difference feels like a mystery. People often ask why ancient iron items can look fine after hundreds or thousands of years while our modern stuff dissolves faster than a dropped ice cream cone. There is a story hiding inside that rusty orange mess. The story involves ancient craftsmanship, chemistry, and even marketing. So let us dive in and follow the trail of iron from past to present. By the end of the video you will understand why your backyard tools rust so quickly, and why medieval iron sometimes ages like a vampire. First, rust is not a simple villain. Rust is a chemical reaction. Iron meets oxygen and water. They react to form iron oxide. Iron wants to bond with oxygen like two characters in a romantic comedy who keep bumping into each other. Once iron meets oxygen with a bit of moisture, the relationship becomes permanent. The orange flaky stuff spreads, eating the metal. So why would some iron resist that world-changing romance for so long? The answer begins in the past. Medieval blacksmiths did not have machines or industrial chemistry. They worked with bloomery iron. A bloomery furnace heated iron ore with charcoal. The result was a spongy mass called a bloom. The bloom was full of slag. That might sound like a bad thing. Slag is basically impurities like silica left over from ore processing. Blacksmiths hammered the bloom over and over to squeeze out slag and shape the iron. They never got rid of all the slag. Little veins of slag remained trapped inside the metal. Those veins ended up becoming a secret protective ingredient. Slag does not rust the same way iron does. It can block the spread of rust. It interrupts those paths where rust creeps inward. Medieval iron had a kind of natural armor because of its impurities. The surface may rust a bit, although the rust stops instead of spreading into a full metal meltdown. People in the past also did not want shiny steel like we do. They wanted tough iron that could survive battle and weather. Some blacksmiths developed surface treatments without knowing the chemistry. They rubbed animal fats, oils, and waxes on iron. When metal heated and cooled, some of these materials seeped into the surface. The result created thin protective coatings that slowed corrosion. It also helped that many historical iron objects stayed indoors or underground where they faced stable environments. Dry air, clay soil, and even mineral deposits sometimes formed a crust that sealed the metal. Not every ancient iron object survived, of course. Plenty vanished into rust long ago. The ones we see today are mainly the lucky survivors. Museums are like a highlight reel of iron's best performances. If medieval metal had impurities that helped, why do modern tools fall apart quicker than a dropped Jenga tower? Shouldn't our technology create stronger, more durable products? The truth is that we build iron and steel differently today, and we build it fast. Iron used in products now is far more pure. Engineers remove nearly all impurities for predictable strength. That makes great skyscrapers and high-quality machines. Purity keeps performance consistent. Unfortunately, that same purity also removes the natural rust-blocking slag veins that older iron had. Rust only needs one path. Once it starts crawling through pure metal, nothing disrupts its mission. Modern steel is made in blast furnaces at high temperatures. Carbon content is controlled with precision. Layers of metal grains line up neatly. It is fantastic engineering, although it creates metal that is eager to react with oxygen. Like a social butterfly at a party, it connects with everything. Then there is the environment. We surround our steel with corrosive villains, acid rain, road salt, polluted air, humidity from every direction. A medieval knight did not deal with highway brine spraying his armor every winter. Even nails in coastal homes suffer more stress now than iron ever faced in a rural village 800 years ago. The biggest twist arrives in the form of money. Most manufacturers want products to last long enough to keep customers happy, although not so long that nobody ever buys replacements. Planned obsolescence turns rust into a sales strategy. If your shovel stayed good for 200 years, stores would sell fewer shovels. Coatings on modern metal could be better. Stainless steel exists. Galvanized coatings are cheap, yet many items get only the bare minimum protection to survive the warranty period. Some cheap tools even feature what I call decorative toughness. It looks sturdy with a thick coat of paint, although the paint cracks once you use it. Water sneaks underneath. Rust grows silently like a mold baking under the pastry glaze. One day the paint flakes off and you realize the tool has been rotting from the inside for years. So medieval iron had impurities that helped. Modern iron is pure and lives a stressful life in a harsh chemical world. That covers a lot of the difference. There is more to the story though, especially when it comes to famous iron objects like the Iron Pillar of Delhi in India. It stands more than 600 years old and barely rusted. How is that fair? Did ancient engineers hold magic metal secrets? The pillar's secret blend involves phosphorus. Iron from that region contained a lot of it. When it reacts with oxygen and humidity, phosphorus can form a protective compound that hugs the metal tightly. That compound blocks deeper rust. The climate around the pillar also stays dry most of the year, which slows corrosion. The pillar has not spent much time near splashing ocean waves or in road salt season. Certain Roman tools and armor also show surprising preservation. They often had tin coatings or unique slag patterns. Even nails pulled from old shipwrecks sometimes survive because seawater minerals build a layer that shields the iron inside. It is like metal enrolling in a protective coral armor club. Comparing ancient iron to modern hardware is a bit like comparing a tortoise to a racehorse. The tortoise handles slow, steady conditions and sticks around for ages. The racehorse runs fast and burns bright until one day it collapses from exhaustion. Modern steel is designed for strength, speed of production, and low cost. Longevity is welcome, although not always the main priority. Some viewers might wonder if old iron was actually weaker. Quite often it was. Ancient iron varied in quality from piece to piece. A sword could snap if the smith messed up the carbon distribution. Blacksmiths relied on skill, not perfect industrial chemistry. So their metal survived because of impurities and circumstances, rather than being stronger in every way. There is a lesson here about simplicity. Old processes left materials in a more natural, less refined form. That created accidental durability. Modern perfection sometimes invites new weaknesses. Rust is nature's way of reminding us that pure iron never stays pure forever. If you feel betrayed by your rusty garden tools, there is hope. You can protect modern metal. Keep things dry. Wipe tools after rain. Apply oil or wax coatings. Painting works well only if the paint covers every inch without cracks. For outdoor hardware, choose galvanized steel or aluminum. Stainless steel resists rust because it contains chromium, which forms a protective barrier. Those materials cost more, although they repay you with peace of mind. Salt accelerates rust like caffeine speeds up an overexcited squirrel. If you live near the ocean or in icy regions where salt blasts your car every winter, regular cleaning is essential. A quick rinse can add years to the life of bumper